I feel like you instigate fights quite a bit, but you know, that's where I come from. You know, people like that get slapped. Well, you're the only one that started any talking about this fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're the one saying, "Oh, he says he's gonna, we'll do this to you and that to you." I think there's just people out there that don't really like me very much.
Why?
But I was for whatever, It's it's NorCal. Sorry, NorCal. We have better fighters out here. That's all there is to it. There's better fighters out here in Northern California, and you know, they just have better jiu-jitsu out here, and there's just better training out here. People are more real about things. Are more hardcore. I'm not gonna be the one to back out of these fights. Nobody gives about me. They're over here throwing me in a fight after fight after fight. They're like, "Oh, this guy will knock him out. We'll get rid of him like that." You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to find some other way. You know what I mean? I got people out to get me. It's gonna take a little more to get rid of me. I didn't have but a month to train for that fight, and I wasn't sure if that fight was gonna go through or not. Just like every fight, I'm fighting blind opponents. I don't know who it's gonna be, who I'm fighting, or if I'm really fighting them. And then on top of that, in the last 2 weeks, there's like all this indecisiveness on whether or not they're gonna pull out. And people are like, "Oh, we don't know if we should tell him or keep him training and all that." And I've never had a real training. Like, everybody caters to somebody that are having some fight that's really big and important. I'm like, what fight is more important than this? But nobody really gives a shit, you know what I mean? They're just like, "Oh, hey, you're fighting again in 2 weeks." So
I actually heard last week you competed in a triathlon, correct? Are you going to look to maybe take some time?
My friend Paul beat me. I got a mountain biking, and he started training up. And man, he became a really good mountain biker. So I thought I'd be fine if I just had a good swim and kept ahead of him on the bike course. And then he comes running up the hills and passed me. And that was kind of hard to deal with. So I already kind of went through like a loss in a way.
Maybe that motivated you for this.
I think it just kind of, I don't know. It did something, but but that got me in shape, and I'm feeling good for the whole season here, and like.
What's your next triathlon?
A good time in this fight and the last fight. This is for me. I mean, right now this year, it's just probably I haven't been at my best. This isn't fair. If you call that a fair fight, I know people think that's a fair fight. That wasn't a fair fight. I just fought. I kicked up in the leg. I go out there, what's the guy do? He tries to kick me right in my leg, And that's not a fair fight, man, And my other fight before that wasn't a fair fight. None of these have been, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I look at things, I guess. I just kind of expect the worst, especially, and once I go out to fight, I try to, visualize all the worst possible things happening to me that could possibly happen, and go over each and every one of them, and accept that as it being like a reality, and I think it makes things go a lot smoother. Other people are always like, they always want to think about the positive, don't think about the negative, and I'm like that, I believe that thinking about the negative is kind of, a way of canceling out all these possibilities one by one. Because the odds are I'm not going to guess what's going to happen, but if I can guess every scenario gone wrong, then, maybe I can change the outcome.
Do you think that the UFC never really wanted to make this fight? Because in the video that you put out, it seemed like you were saying that they didn't want you to fight GSP, and that's why they did this.
Yeah, sure. I don't feel like anybody wants me. No, I was going to go to pro boxing. I think that. I don't think anybody wanted me fighting with GSP for the title. That's the first thing that comes to mind, that they don't want me fighting. But when I start training for a fight, nothing's easy about it. And just to make it to training, I had my mom drive me to practice everywhere. I made my mom. I'm really grateful I had her she took me, signed me up at the Animal House gym when I started training, and I would make her drive me all the way to Concord to train at the Caesar Academy. It's an hour drive, and she worked full time as a waitress, so she would drive me all the way down Highway 12, and hang out for a few hours or something so I could train there, and so I was really lucky for that. But I'd like to. That's why I'm here. I'm fighting hard. I'm training hard. I'm still walking on people and stepping over people, and to get where I'm going. And I would really, I'd like to give back, especially to my mom, who's there for me, and when I was a kid. And I'm just not able to do that right now. Not the way I'd like to. I like to do things the right way. I felt like my job was to go out there put on a good show, amazing fights, put on, give it an amazing effort, and hopefully that people could recognize this sort of thing, and maybe they'll, maybe they'd want to find out more and see more. But like I said, I was saying earlier, to people about missing press and stuff like that. Nobody really wants to come out and see what you're doing in Stockton. Nobody cares what we're doing out there. It's as if you're not from Northern California, then nobody knows who you are if you're from Northern California. So, and then people make that trip to Southern California. But I grew up with, we don't do Southern California where I live. It's NorCal. And but no, I love jiu-jitsu, and I love my team, and I love I love repping Cesar Gracie jiu-jitsu, and I love athletics and martial arts and competition, because it gets me right and puts me in the right place, and to get in shape and stay healthy. And I love to do well, and I love the competition and everything. But as far as fighting for money, it's not something I'm in love with. I had to become the most technical learner, if you will, like that I could be. I had to just try to excel in every aspect of this sport, and even fitness, and take the most reasonable, logical, and technical path to get there. So
would fighting GSP maybe bring out those emotions in you? Because that, I know between us, you've talked about fighting him for a long time. Him, Anderson, these are guys that you've always won when you were fighting in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
Would that bring out those emotions in you?
Well, these guys are, the top of the top, and I don't know what kind of emotions I would be dealing with going into those fights. I don't have anything personal against George. He's got to do what he's got to do. He's just trying to get by and win these fights and protect himself. And I'm sure he looks at it like I do. It's very dangerous, and I think he said it before too, or a lot of people have said it before. You're going to be scared going into any fight. It's not like you're not scared to fight. I mean, you got to be stupid.
You get scared? You get scared before your fights?
It's a very scary situation you're in, when people are trying to manipulate positions so that they can smash your face with an elbow, or elbows, and just rain it down. That's hard times, and then it's hard times dealing with that idea of what might be in front of you for your whole life. You gotta, one after another, sort of thing. I do what I do, I guess, but I do what my coach, my trainer I do what Cesar Gracie instructs me to do. I do what he tells me to do. He tells me not to do something, I don't do it. He tells me what to do, and then I do it. He tells me, hey, so. I don't know. As long as he's not telling me to cool it, then I didn't see any reason to knock anything off. To knock it off, or I was just going with the flow. And